Hey, this is Mr. Bubblz giving my impressions of the new Loki Life-Size Bust by Queen Studios. Right off the bat, I mean, you can see it's a pretty amazing bust. If you start at the base, we've got the nameplate. I am a fan of that, so I'm glad that they include it. The base is pretty decorative compared to some of the other Queen Studios busts. The only one that I would say is more decorative is the Doctor Strange bust base. Moving up, you've got some of the armor, which was interesting to put together because it's the first time I've had a life-size bust with multiple layers and pieces. There was actually a bit of an assembly going on with this. I think all the armor looks really good, the way they painted it and weathered it, put some battle damage on there. You have the real cloth here, the vinyl on the backside. It all looks really good. I think the only place that they dropped the ball a little bit were on these parts. They actually Velcro on, and yeah, you gotta kind of stick those on there, and the Velcro isn't like perfectly lined up with where you think they should all be, so I don't know. I'll play around with it a little more, but for a bust that's so expensive, it's a little odd to see like weird gaps like that and be able to see the top of some Velcro. But if you're standing back, obviously that's not what you notice at all. Moving up to the portrait, you can see it's a really amazing likeness of Tom Hiddleston. Let me zoom in a little bit on the skin. So you can see lots of detail in there, great paint job. The hand-punched eyebrows, the eyelashes, they all look amazing. The eyes, just like all of the Queen Studios busts, they really have great detail in there. The veins in the eyes, everything else. So amazing bust. I'm so glad I waited. I had a couple opportunities to buy the original Loki bust, but well over retail. I think the last quote I was given was like 4,200 shipped. I would be super pissed if I did that and then saw that this was re-released because this just really destroys that other bust. Say one of the biggest selling points for this, outside of this, the upgraded base and the upgraded armor, is definitely the horns and how it's a built-in helmet versus something that you would remove and potentially damage the silicone when it's taken on and off and just not as stable. The weathering effect and the battle damage that they have on the horns is really great. I mean, I would just say overall, this is A to A plus range. I wouldn't say it's the best Queen Studios bust or even life-size bust that I have. I think it still goes to Doctor Strange. Just the attention to detail with him. You can see just a lot more detail on the face. Probably, I mean, he's older and there's a little more character in there with the hair and everything, but the cape is next level. All the tailoring is next level. Like I said, the base is a step up. Again, the Loki base is great, but the cape in this situation has a bit of like a felt type feel to it. Not quite as high quality as with Doctor Strange. So I would say there's just a couple places where the Loki bust isn't quite as good as the Doctor Strange bust, but it's right up there and easily one of my favorites at this point. There's a pan of the area with all the lights on. Again, the Thanos bust is always just kind of shocking how large and heavy it is. See just his gauntlet like next to Loki for a size comparison. That really is an amazing piece. Then you come around, Spider-Man and Hulk and Iron Man, and of course Doctor Strange. That Iron Patriot's probably a bit of a placeholder. Once I get some of the other busts, I won't have room for that one, so I'll either end up selling it or moving it somewhere else. I'll say right now I'm also using Iron Man with these thruster things on his back. They kind of fit in there, but if I get a little tight with space in this area, I might have to end up taking those off. They really are crazy how much space it takes up when you have them. But if you have the space, it's a neat touch. One of the things that I really enjoy doing with my collection of different statues is just experimenting with different lighting. A lot of these life-size human silicone busts look really good with some uplighting. Kind of makes it a little more of a dramatic look. I mean, and the Loki bust is no different. With some uplighting and some purple and blue overhead colored lights. Gives a cool look and a neat effect. Let's say Doctor Strange looks pretty good like that too. But overall for this, I mean, definitely Hulk as well. But overall what I'm going for this setup is kind of like a superhero collage, different levels. Got Spider-Man up a little bit higher. Coming around to Thanos and Black Panther and Vision. We'll see. I got a couple more busts coming. It's kind of a careful balance between putting a whole bunch of one area and it kind of looks cluttered versus creating a collage of really large and heavy busts.